What are your initial reactions or thoughts with regards to pole dancing?
As a guy, I'm excited. Like, I like women.
Reminds you of like bars and that kind of stuff, like the clubbing scene when I first hear of pole dancing. Wait, hold on, can we redo that? I don't want to say strip.
即係可能都係以前嘅一啲諗法咯，即係覺得某啲場所嘅女仔先會咁嘅喎。
You've got a lot of other men are going to be watching you. They're going to be having sexual thoughts about you.
Another way to put pole dancing is stripping. From a guy's point of view, they're hesitant because they're literally showing their girl to like other men.
如果係女朋友嘅話，可能就要考慮下啦，因為我自己都比較保守嘅喺呢一方面，即係可能要了解多啲究竟係點樣㗎，先至會俾佢參加。
When I see girls pole dancing, I mean, as with any normal guy would, the first thing that happens is you kind of get turned on. There's a connotation, there's an association with the sex trim.
This is the reaction so often found when talking to most people in Hong Kong. Research conducted by the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences claimed that there are 5 times more conservatives than liberals in Hong Kong. It wasn't always that way though. Acrobatic pole routines have existed for many hundreds of years as an art form in their own right, originating in both India and China. Since the 12th century, in India, Malakumbh has been a training regime for male wrestlers where they twist, turn, bend, and hold positions up the length of a wooden or iron pole to develop flexibility and agility. In China, it was a traditional form of entertainment and just like in India, was originally an all-male activity. They would use 2 6-meter poles and climb them with great speed, strength and dexterity, jumping in between them and holding themselves at a 90 degrees angle with outstretched arms. The erotic pole dance didn't really come into being until the very early 20th century and the American traveling circuses. Hoochie coochie dancers would use the central pole that held up the tent to dance provocatively, and this became synonymous with erotic dancing and into striptease. Jumping forward to the 1950s, 60s and 70s, in the height of the Korean and Vietnam Wars, American GIs and sailors on rest and relaxation, also known as R&R, flooded the streets of the Hong Kong waterfront district of Wan Chai, looking for entertainment and sexual relief in the sleazy nightclubs full of sex workers. Used to seeing a pole in their strip clubs back home, they asked where they were. So, club owners who were desperate for their money introduced pole dancing into their establishments. In this way, Wan Chai became known as the pole dancing capital of the territory. Now the GIs have gone and Wan Chai is the haunt of drunken teenagers looking for a night out. The pole dancing clubs have all but disappeared, with only a handful left to cater for tourists and a few locals. But pole dancing is starting to re-emerge in Hong Kong, not in darkened, sleazy nightclubs, but in the brightly lit dance studios with a whole new generation of people who regard it as an essential fitness and lifestyle routine. Some women and a minority of men are starting to break the barriers of this patriarchal and conservative city. Their goal is to be able to empower themselves and convince the public to detach themselves from the old stigmas of pole dancing in order to bring it into the 21st century as a sport for all.
啱啱開始教鋼管舞嘅時候，我屋企人同埋我啲朋友咧，其實就係最大反應嘅。我媽咪咧會同我啲親戚講話：喂，我個女去教豔舞啊！好多女性都比較怕醜啲去表達或者去表現自己個 body 啦。咁我啲朋友睇完都好想係咪跳完鋼管舞都可以咁 fit 嘅咧？咁佢哋都想去。好多人，尤其是係唔學鋼管舞，尤其是係從來都未接觸過鋼管舞嘅人，特別中意批評鋼管舞。鋼管舞嘅來源，的確可能係一啲唔係咁好嘅場合，可能係啲夜總會嘅一啲表演啊。跟住慢慢落嚟咧，因為受得太多批評啦，跟住就開始有一班嘅 dancer， 佢哋就唔想再將鋼管舞同埋豔舞擺埋一齊，所以佢哋就話我而家唔再着高踭鞋啦，我唔會再跳性感嘅嘢，咁就好想將鋼管舞擺入去奧運嗰度。
Along with a recognized government body, prospective sport must also gain separate recognition from the International Olympic Committee. Whilst pole dancing has gained observer status, there is still a long way to go before the sport could end up in the Olympics.
呢個係我其中覺得我好想嚟緊10年、20年見到嘅一個項目喺奧運會出現啦。但係我相信要將pole dance 更加普及，同埋有更加多人認知咗呢一個表演先至會做到咯。其實如果我哋係用一個觀賞藝術嘅心去睇，佢其實結合咗可能係芭蕾啊，或者係其他舞蹈嘅成分。它是一種力量與美的結合，它不僅是一個舞蹈，對我來說更像是一種運動。
The Olympic Charter indicates that in order to be accepted, a sport must be widely practiced by men in at least 75 countries and on 4 continents, and by women in no fewer than 40 countries and on 3 continents.
即係曾經有奧運嘅人都係有興趣去接納鋼管舞嘅，不過唔知點解最後就冇搞到。
Taking an art form that is at the epicenter of sexuality and rendering it equal to figure skating can cause major problems. There are no hard and fast rules or techniques yet, and so it is impossible to mark pole dancing against fixed criteria in the same way as figure skating.
钢管舞确实是起源于夜店文化，也确实最初可能是一些夜店的女郎脱衣舞娘在跳的，但是不是光靠性感就可以把钢管舞跳好，在钢管上的动作更重要的是展示你全身肌肉的力量以及你的柔韧度。我觉得我会很认真的跟他们说，不要把这个舞蹈想象成只是展现自己的性感或者吸引异性这么简单的一个东西，因为它真的没有那么简单。